I see you as someone who's so far ahead of the curve in general. How do you manage being so far ahead of it and then see everybody kind of catch up, but you're already onto the next curve? Like what are your kind of, not predictions, but what trends do you see in the culture and in the culture wars that are unfolding right now?
I think we talked a little bit this on my show. I think the Democrats are going to have a massive comeback in terms of recapturing the center. I think we're also going to see unorthodox comedy make a big comeback, even in lefty circles.
In what respect?
Meaning like comedy that is just offensive and just, pushes buttons. That's going to come back hard.
Yeah, I mean, you see that at kind of everywhere, and particularly a lot of the mothership guys.
What's the mothership? I'm talking about, you'll see in LA and New York.
And culturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird how it just got memory hold.
That's the other thing. Like conservatives, not that either of us is a conservative, don't know how to take a win, right? It's not like the New York Times is going to say, okay, you got us. We're going back to normal. They're just going to pretend it never happened. Like there were never any lockdowns and we never were quarantined. Right? You're just crazy.
You're just a crazy person.
You're a crazy person to imagine this. There were never any mandates. What are you talking about? Passports. Okay,
they do
crazy.
That.
I know.
I mean, talk about the rage.
Is that true?
The Irish rage that comes up.
Why do you get enraged?
I get enraged that they try and pretend like none of that happened.
But why? But what's the source of your rage? You're in recovery, right? In recovery, one thing in recovery is always like, okay, what is causing this feeling? Right?
I think it's just being the blatant gaslighting.
But why? Like, if someone on the street comes up to you and says, you and Jaren were never married, you're not going to be angry. You're going to be like, okay, crazy person, get away from me, right?
Right. That's true.
So why does this enrage you?
Because it's from the state down. So it feels like they're trying to rewire reality.
They are.
And reconstruct reality and on a mass level. And I've seen how many people go along with it.
Sure.
And so it makes me mad that they're manipulating people like that.
But to me, being mad implies that you'd expect otherwise.
Right.
But this is what they always do.
Right. Maybe I'm just still.
So there's that line about you knew it was a snake when you picked it up kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're still naive about how evil they are and how shameless they are.
I am. Yeah.
I
see you using evil and I don't like to like throw those words around, but the more.
England? What's going on in England?
It's crazy.
Well, it's not crazy. It's evil.
Evil.
Okay.
Evil. Yeah, and that's been something that people in our circles have been covering for years.
Oh, yeah.
Douglas Murray wrote a whole freaking chapter about it in a book like almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
And when Sally came on my podcast, she brought it up and was called a bigot for even bringing these things up. These brilliant people who are just trying to, and often said this is nobody cares because they're like white working class poor girls in the UK, and so high society doesn't give a shit about them either.
Right.
And yeah, that shit's evil. The more you read and hear about it, it's horrific. And I don't know. I guess I have my husband is less emotional than I am in a lot of respects and more skeptical. So he generally tends to just he'll say it's more than likely incompetence.
Oh my God.
It's like he kind of.
You know how he's wrong? You know how you know he's wrong? Let's suppose I was a bank teller, right? And I screwed something up and someone had a withdrawal for 500 and I gave him like 5,000 or 50,000 instead. I lost all this money. I'd really feel guilt. And I'd be like, maybe this isn't the right job for me. And that's just cash. That's replaceable. It's a huge bank. Who cares at the end of the day? This is like kids being systemically tortured and assaulted for decades. So if you're incompetent and this is what happens as a result of your incompetence, you'd be jumping off a ledge.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about even the UK. I'm talking more in relation to like the things of lockdowns or just like
No, the lockdowns are incompetence because people didn't know what to do. I'll buy that. But the gaslighting is not incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
That's systemic and by design.
Mm-hmm.
That's them avoiding responsibility because it would be very reasonable to say, We had this deadly disease. We were freaking the hell out. We wanted to err on the side of caution because it went the wrong way. Lots of people would die, or so we thought. So better safe than sorry was our mental process. We learned a lot of things. Here's what worked. Here's what didn't. Next time, it'll be much easier. That would be a very reasonable approach. That was not the approach at all. At all. There's no responsibility. No, okay, this was a mistake. This worked. Telling people, hey guys, like, let's regroup. Let's, do the breakdown. This is what worked. This is what didn't. Like I bring this up all the time about red pilling people, social distancing. If social distancing worked, why didn't they bring it back with the second wave? And if it didn't work, why did we do it to begin with? Which one of those you pick a lane. So it's very fair to say, you know what? We thought it would work. We realized it was pointless. Lesson learned. There's none. It's just like, we never did social distancing. That sign on the floor, you're a crazy person.
And they're still there. That's the craziest part.
And the elevator, if we just stand apart in the elevator, you're not going to breathe the same air.
It's creepy.
Of math. Yeah.